FLB had a 10.
Oh, kills me.
There we go.
Oh, you did-
Thank you.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the regular meeting of the Bethlehem Zoning Hearing Board. My name is Bill Fitzpatrick, and I'll serve as chair for tonight's hearings. Other members of the board joining me tonight, starting from my left, Mary Frances Stone, who's an alternate member and will be participating in the hearing, except that she will not be a voting member. Next to her is Jessica Lee. To my immediate left is Terry Novotny. To my immediate right is attorney Steve Boel, who will serve as solicitor for the board and provide legal advice. To his right is Craig Pfeiffer, the zoning officer for the city of Bethlehem. And at the far right of the table is Jean Genova, our court stenographer. I would remind everyone that we will be taking a formal record of tonight's proceedings so that anything that is said, question, testimony, otherwise will be treated as sworn testimony and made part of the record. Tonight, there are 4 appeals scheduled to be heard. As you've already figured out, the person or group making the appeal will be seated at this table and will make their presentation to the board. Thereafter, I'll try and navigate everyone through because there's an opportunity first for the board to ask questions of the testimony that we've just heard, and then for members of the audience. Following the conclusion of all questions and answers, I would open the floor for any comments or testimony from members of the audience. The only thing I would ask in both questions and in testimony would be to avoid repetitive statements or questions. And very importantly, anyone aggrieved by the decision the board may make tonight may appeal to either Lehigh or Northampton County Court within 30 days following the issuance of the written decision of the Zoning Hearing Board. So with that, our first matter to be heard tonight is that of 642 to 644 North New Street in the appeal of Vivian Segui. Have I pronounced your name? Thank you. Would you and anyone else who will be either questioning or testifying in this matter please stand so you can be sworn in?
Raise your right hand, please.
You swear by mighty God, the searcher of all hearts, that the testimony that you shall give in this proceeding should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and as you shall answer to God at the last great day. Do you so swear?
I do.
Yes. You may be seated.
Thank you. Can you tell us when the property was posted with the yellow placard?
The day I picked it up from the office in the city of Bethlehem, which I think it was like 2 weeks ago.
When was that?
Approximately 2 weeks ago.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Pfeiffer, can you give us the facts of the case, please?
This parcel is located at 642, 644 North New Street. This is the appeal of Vivian Segui for a use variance to permit an office use, professional or otherwise, on the front street level. This record lot is 33 feet by 193 feet, or 6,369 square feet, and is located in the CB, Commercial Central Business Zoning District.
Thank you. And I see you're represented. May we have your name and
Sure. I'm attorney Ryan Kirpat.
Did you spell your last name, please?
Sure. It's K-U-R, P as in Paul, A-T.
Okay, Attorney Kirpat. Why don't you go ahead?
Real quick, it's a housekeeping matter. We'd like to mark 2 zoning hearing board exhibits. The first one is your application, your submission. The second one is a letter that the zoning hearing board received from Darlene Heller, Director of Planning and Zoning, dated July 27 or 2022. All right. Any objection to this?
No objection.
And I believe we were given certain handouts that we'll be treating in terms of numbering the exhibits.
Sure.
So if you would proceed.
Sure.
Your appeal, please.
What I provided to the board is 5 photographs of other similar businesses located either on North New Street or intersecting streets by there, either Broad Street or North Street. These businesses, similar to my client, operate under what I would consider to be a office of professional use or otherwise, such as under photograph 1, there's 3 businesses in one building, a law office.
Can you hold up what you're identifying as photograph number 1?
Sure,
please?
sure. Here we have a property at 3 East North Street.
Yeah, can we see it?
Sure.
That's
Sorry, I
all
didn't know if you wanted
Yeah.
the camera or you
right.
guys.
Thank you. Okay. Thank
So
you.
this first one, I have a list of all the photographs as well to describe which one I'm
All right.
referring to in turn.
And you do indeed. Thank you.
Okay, so on 3 East North Street, you'll see a sign for Shulman Law Office, Lavage and Associates, and I'm not even going to attempt at butchering that third location. The names there, I would have difficulty pronouncing them, but they're all what I would register as professional use offices. And then the next photo I have here in the list, I'll try to go quickly so I don't bore the board.
Actually, with and I apologize. With this, we should be okay to identify which one. Thank
Okay,
you.
so the second picture is Lisa Lascola's office, state senator. Again, it's actually listed as an office. So I would argue that that is a similar use. The third picture is Steel Pixel Studios, 701 North New Street. Their website lists them as a media and production studio who also does some podcasting in the building. The fourth picture is PostNet, a commercial establishment that primarily deals in design, printing, and shipping solutions. And the final and fifth photograph is for a company called Formspace Design at 719 North New Street. I brought these photographs in as visual aids because I would argue that not only are these businesses similar in nature, I think a lot of them would be complementary to my client's proposed business. Providing notary services and insurance information could go hand in hand and be mutually beneficial to a lot of these businesses as well as herself. On the letter received from Darlene Heller, the letter specifies that the goal is to support downtown businesses, to contribute to commercial vibrancy and diversity. There's not a similar business operating in the area that provides this kind of service for notary service of plates, issuing PennDOT license plates. And I would argue that local residents don't have to travel far to get valuable services that they couldn't otherwise get in the area. And it wouldn't cause any more of a strain to public parking, commuter footpath traffic, and things of that nature. She would operate under similar business hours and just generally conform to the character of the neighborhood. So I yield the floor to the board if you have questions.
Okay. Questions from members of the board? Ms. Stone?
I don't have any questions right now. Thank you.
And Ms. Lee?
Yes, just a quick question. Is this more of a, would you consider a business or an office? A business that serves people or an office where you're just sitting in there, I don't know, typing on your computer?
I'll let my client elaborate.
It would be considered a business where people would come in and get services done.
Okay, because in the permit you're asking for, you're saying office. Office use.
Yeah, can you expand on that a little bit? Because again, as we're reading this, you're asking for a permit for an office use, but I don't believe it's defined what that office will be.
Well, basically what it is it's an office space there. But what I do is I would provide businesses like notary services, insurance, auto, commercial, homeowners. I would renew registrations, give out plates, do title transfers, anything that has to do with PennDOT. So, the clients would be coming in and I would be providing services to them.
Okay, and the name of your business then is,
It's D-Lins
D-Lins.
Notary and Tags, yes.
okay, that's all I got right now.
Mr. Novotny?
You mentioned insurance. Are you a licensed insurance agent?
Yes, I am for the last 22 years.
Okay. Are you the owner of the building?
No, I'm not. I actually got a lease with them, with
Is the owner-
Empire Management.
Is the owner of the building here tonight?
No, they're not.
Okay. So you have no knowledge whether or not they've tried to lease the building to more of a retail operation as opposed to an office operation.
When this opportunity came up that I spoke to, that it was denied, and I spoke to Empire Management, and when I told them what was going on, they were actually surprised. They didn't know that I had been denied, and that I was appealing the case, so they had no knowledge of anything.
Okay. The question for the zoning officer, would the selling of insurance be considered a personal service?
It would not. And I would just reflect back to the definition section in 1302.104, the definition of professional office, which includes, amongst other things, insurance.
Okay, thanks. No further questions.
Since what you're requesting is a use variance, can you first of all tell me what will be your hours and days of operation?
I was looking at during the week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 10 to 6, and then Saturdays, 9 to 2.
All right. Describe parking in and around there for people who would be coming to your facility.
It's public parking, so they would have to put
Is it
money in
zoned
the
parking?
meter. Yeah,
May I ask, is it zoned or is it meter parking?
it's meter parking.
It
Oh,
is.
no. Yeah, it is.
It is meter parking.
Is it? Okay.
I'm trying to think.
When I walked the neighborhood taking these pictures, I did not see any meters
Oh,
when I was
probably
walking the
not.
neighborhood, so I don't believe that it is metered parking. I believe it's just public parking.
All right. And
Okay.
farther, you were Attorney Kirkpat, can you address the restrictions that are in the applicable code which restricts the type of use that could be considered?
Sure, you're
As
referring to
appropriate.
footnote 1 of 1305B?
It's actually delineated in the letter which we gave you from Ms. Heller.
Oh, okay. So correct, she did address 1305, section 1305.01 subsection B, that a permitted use shall be a principal retail, restaurant, or personal service use on the front street level, and office use, professional or otherwise, shall not be permitted on the front street level in the CB zoning district.
Okay, then what I'm asking you to do is help me understand the request for the use variance. What is the hardship that you're overcoming that would require a use variance?
My client, she signed a lease with the intention to open this business, not knowing that this would fall under an office space use. So she's committed in a lease that she invested a lot of money into this property and her business to operate there. And if without being able to operate her business there, then her lease would become untenable. I apologize. I thought the board had received a copy of the lease. If you don't have one, I can provide one to you.
And if we did, I didn't notice it in the application. You do?
No.
No, we do not have it.
I apologize. I don't have multiple copies. It's a bit of a lengthy document, but I have a copy here if the board would
Right.
like it.
Because what was given to us was a statement from Ms. Segee, as well as what looks like a floor plan, but really nothing. I assume that Empire Management is the owner of the building?
Correct.
Actually, I have nothing else. Attorney Boyle, is there anything you needed for the record?
Well, I want to rephrase your question. So section 132506 of the ordinance lays out the burden of proof that the zoning hearing board needs to consider in whether to grant the variance. And the first and typically the most important of those criteria is that there's some physical circumstance or condition with the property that necessitates the grant of the variance. What's the physical condition of the property that you're asserting as a hardship? If you need a copy of the ordinance, we can give you the.
I do have a copy of 132506. I made sure that I had
Okay.
the variance standards with me as well. I would argue that it's not a physical circumstance per se, but more of a condition. And the condition of it is that the nature of the neighborhood has, again, offices there in that neighborhood that she was under the impression her CO would be received. and that she wouldn't have any difficulty in achieving or getting the CO in order to operate the business.
That's all I have, sir.
Okay. Mr. Pfeiffer, anything you needed for the record?
I do. I have quite a few questions, so if you kindly bear with me, I'll try to go through them as quickly as I can. Good evening. Either Attorney Kirkpat or Ms. Segui, if either one of you wants to answer these questions, it's up to you. Do either of you know what the previous use of this space was?
Yes, I do.
And what was that use?
It was a hair salon, beauty salon.
Okay, thank you. The photographs that you've provided, photographs 1 through 5, do you know when these businesses opened up?
I do not have knowledge of when they opened, no, whether or not they received their certificates of occupancy before the zoning ordinance was reestablished and amended.
Thank you. And to that end, I'll just say that the city on the record objects to photographs 1 through 5 based on the following. The property on North Street is on the local street, so it would not be applicable to the ordinance. The property on Broad Street, photograph number 2, actually has a restaurant on the front street level. The other properties we would suggest were established prior to the establishment of this clause in the ordinance. The last thing is just that the city did object to a previous appeal, very similar in nature to this, set forth in new just a few months ago, in which the applicant requested an office use on the front street level on a street that wasn't a local street, and the board did uphold the ordinance. Thank you. That's all the questions that I have.
Okay, thank you. One last pass around the zoning hearing board. Any last questions?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Are there any questions from members of the audience with regard to the testimony that was just presented? Seeing no one, Attorney Kirkpat, did you have additional witness or testimony you wanted to introduce?
No additional testimony, or I'm sorry, no additional witnesses. I would just like to elaborate that the nature of my client's business, I think, is diverse, and she offers a lot of different kind of services to the community that I think would be very beneficial. It would drive in local traffic and I think visitors as well.
Okay, and I'll give you another bite at the apple if we need it. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to testify or offer comment in this matter? Seeing no one, I'll pass the ball back to you. Is that anything additional or?
No, I think that was my final comment.
All right. Gene, I would then like to go off the record. We should probably go outside. Can we? We'll go outside in executive session. You have your stuff spread out all over the place. No, that's me. That's me making a lot of racket. Gene, I'd like to go back on the record, and I would welcome a motion from a member of the board.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to deny the use variance to permit an office use, professional or otherwise, at 642, 644 North New Street.
I'll second.
Ms. Lee,
Yes,
Mr. Novatnik,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Yes. Awfully sorry, but we've had to deny your appeal, so I wish you well going forward.
Thank you, Board.
The next hearing is that of 609 West Union Boulevard, and the appeal of Ihor Simonovich. Did I pronounce that correctly? Simonovich. I didn't know where to put the emphasis.
Anytime someone slows down the pronunciation, I know it's me.
That's you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it didn't sound right, that pertains to you. Okay, got it.
Sounds like an ice skater you might have encountered.
Well,
many years
it
ago.
could very well be. Could very well be. Well, Ms. Simonovich, can you first of all stand so that we can swear you in?
Raise your right hand, please. Do swear by mighty God, the searcher of all hearts, that the testimony that you shall give in this proceedings be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and as you shall answer to God at the last great day. Do you so swear?
Can you tell us when the property was posted with the yellow card that we gave?
It was around the same time we submitted the application.
And that would be when?
When is the required deadline for submission? Unfortunately, my dad is Ihor. It's a family-run business. My name is Yulia Simonovich, and
Wait. Can you spell your name, please?
Yuliya.
Yulia.
Ya.
And what's your last name?
Simonovich. Semenovych. He's out of the country currently in Syria visiting family. And he
Understand, but we
So,
Mr.
so
Piper,
his
can you
work-
assist on this, please?
Sure, I can verify that it was posted within at least a minimum of 1 week prior to this hearing.
All right, thanks. That satisfies what we need.
Okay.
And
So we are just seeking a variance to change the setback of a side roof over two of the apartments at the property. The required variance requires 4 feet. We'd like to change that to 2. We've had a lot of,
excuse me, I beg your pardon.
Not your problem, ours.
okay.
Yeah.
Wait, I need to have Mr. Piper put the facts of the case on record.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Fitzpatrick. This property is located at 609 West Union Boulevard. This is the appeal of Ihor Simonovich to construct an entry roof which requires a dimensional variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback, 4 feet required, 2 feet proposed. This record lot is irregular in shape, totaling 4,560 square feet, and is located in the RT High Density Residential Zoning District.
Thank you, and I apologize for the oversight and the interruption. So
That's okay.
if you would make your presentation.
Sure, absolutely. So there currently is a side roof right now. There's actually a 1 foot variance from the side street. So we're going to create a 2 foot variance in the width and extend the length of it. Both of the side apartments, if you look at the diagram, there's one which is a sub-level apartment in the back and another side apartment. Anytime it rains, the direction of the rain causes flooding in both of these apartments. I do have pictures with me that I brought from the tenants that currently reside in there showing and telling us that their apartment, their floors flood. So we're just concerned about molds, slippage. There's no protection from the weather at this time.
Do you want to present them to us as
Sure.
exhibits?
Yep.
Do you have only one set of the photographs?
I do.
Right, if you would just give them to Attorney Boel, and then we can take a look at them.
So the first is an email from one of the tenants.
Before you gotta get a microphone.
So the first was an email from one of the tenants. She actually ended up moving out because of the flooding. The little roof that was over the side of her apartment caused her ceiling to leak, so she couldn't keep anything in that apartment. The other one is a text message from another tenant who is considering of moving out because the water goes down their steps into their kitchen and through the front door. So the roof at the moment doesn't provide any kind of protection.
Okay. Is there anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Questions from members of the board, and if you need a moment to look at the photos, Mary Frances will come back to you. Ms. Lee, do you have any questions?
Yes, have you checked to see if the water leakage is coming from anywhere else? That the roof is not the problem, but maybe it's seepage from underneath or something?
Yeah. So the property is actually elevated above street level, and anytime we've been down there, we could see the rain for the side apartment hitting the wall of her building, and it's exactly where it leaks because we have been there in the rainstorms to make sure that that's the issue. As you're walking into the back apartment, there's no protection as you're coming in and out of it, and the side steps, the rain actually, you can see a little puddle collecting from where the roof ends, which is right at the entryway, and falling off of the roof and funneling down their steps.
Okay, so you're like 100% sure that
It's-
it's
yeah,
the
it's-
roof, if you extended it, it would prevent
Yeah.
this water leakage?
Yeah, because right now there's absolutely no protection. If for some reason when the roof was initially built, if the steps or the front entry is here, the roof ends right here. So it just it protects you if you're standing right underneath the front door, but the second you step away, the roof is useless.
Okay. That's all I have right now.
Mr. Novotny.
Looking at the diagrams, are you planning to put gutters and downspouting? on the
Yes.
new porch?
Mhm.
Does the existing porch have gutters and downspouting?
It does. The current roof, which is the back one, as you look at the diagram, it has it, but again, it's providing really no relief because the roof is so small, it doesn't even have a chance to collect into them.
And will the gutters and downspouting or the downspouting is going to lead to Union Boulevard or
We have a
far enough
sidewalk.
away from the building?
Yeah, we have a sidewalk and we've created actually a little ditch along with we put a sidewalk right next to the building and there's still some grass and almost like a concrete funneling system right next to that. So that's where it gets diverted to currently.
And will the water runoff, will that remain on your property or is
Yeah.
there a neighboring property?
Yeah, that would be on our property.
No other questions.
Thank you. Can you tell me how long this property's been in your family's possession?
I can't tell you exactly. I think it's around 8 years
Around 8 years. How long has this leakage problem been
since we bought the building.
since you bought it?
Yeah. So previously, the apartment that's on the lower level, the door that's now there, we changed that to be their front door, used to just be like a storage shed. So we found mold in there when we opened it up, but we didn't know why. It was a door that opened this way instead of this way. And the people who lived there before, who had been the tenants when we purchased the building, they just kept it closed. So we had no idea that the water was coming in that direction until we moved the front door to the other side of the building.
So prior to just fairly recently, you weren't aware that the roof was leaking, that the dimensions of the roof were causing this?
It was probably back in 2020 where we changed the front door and we tried to figure out if there was another way we could fix it. We'd actually tried putting different kinds of like flaps and covering the sides of the roof in different directions to see if that would help, and it still keeps happening.
When you said you tried to fix it, did you seek professional advice as to what would remedy the situation?
My dad had a roofer come out. He actually has a remodeling company as well. So he's been in the remodeling business. He can build a home from the ground up.
That's your father's business?
That's Ihor. So that's his business, is to fix houses.
Okay, thank
But
you.
he did have a second opinion come out because we wanted to make sure it was the roof before applying for zoning variance.
Okay, thank you. I have no other questions. Attorney Boyle, anything from you?
What's on the neighboring property towards where the new roof's going?
It's their backyard.
Is
There's
it-
nothing. It's grass.
Okay. How far set off the property line is whatever the next building is? How many feet?
It's however minimum zoning variance requires a house to be, that's as far away as the next house is. The whole entire backyard is their backyard. There's nothing there.
That's all I have.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, a follow-up question. 609 West Union Boulevard, is that a single-family residence or is that attached to?
It's a multi-unit. There's 5 apartments in the property.
But it's just one building, it's
It's
not?
just one property, yeah.
Okay, I see. All right. Mr. Pfeiffer, anything from you that you need on the record?
Two items. One, a clarification to Attorney Boel's comment. The structure that is adjacent to where this roof is proposed is actually a one-car garage that belongs to the property that fronts on the street behind West Union Boulevard. I believe that's West Spruce. And so what is next to the roof that's being proposed is grass, as the applicant suggested, and it's probably a good 10 feet of grass before you get to this garage. The other is a question that I have for the applicant, and good evening. If you are granted this approval, the property has what's called an oriel window, or some people call it a bay. It's that part that projects out that has the 3 windows on 3 sides. Is your roof proposed to be higher than that at that level?
I think it's going to extend all the way through. If the both of the roofs, I think, are at the same height, the back one and the front one, it just looks like they're different because it is a bay window, so it projects out. I think it should be all in the building code that was attached to the application.
Maybe I can ask my question in another way. Because there are design standards for this district, would you be amenable to locating the roof, or at least working with city staff to locate the roof as it connects to the side of the structure in a location that would preserve the oriel window?
Yeah, absolutely. We're planning on keeping that.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. One last time with the members of the board.
No,
I have nothing.
For those with us in the audience, any questions of the testimony you just heard? Seeing no one, is there anyone wishing to testify or offer comment? Please come to the microphone. Seeing no one, do you have any closing remarks?
No, sir.
Okay, thanks. Gene, we'll go off the record then. Go outside.
Hey, come right here for a sec.
My phone?
No, come right you.
Yes.
Oriole window. O-R-I-E-L.
Yes.
Learn something new every day, my friend.
I thought they came from Baltimore, right?
No, it's
Not
taking a leap. Leap of faith sweater.
I thought we'd freeze in here, but it's comfortable.
Gene, I'd like to go back on the record, please. And I'd welcome a motion from a member of the board.
Yes, I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to approve the dimensional variance to construct an entry roof at 609 West Union Boulevard, and with the one following condition, and that is to preserve the oriel window.
I'll second.
Ms. Lee,
Yes,
Mr. Novatnik,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Yes, your appeal's been granted. You may want to wait for the written decision, but I wish you well with the construction project.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, it seems like we're focused on West Broad Street this time, western part of it. The next appeal is that of 1825 West Broad Street and the appeal of Brittany Werner for a use variance.
Shall remain standing to be sworn in.
You may as well stand because we're going to ask you to do
Yeah.
that anyway. If you would just remain standing so we can swear you in.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear by mighty God, the searcher of all hearts, that the testimony that you shall give in this proceeding should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and as you shall answer to God at the last great day? Do you so swear?
I swear.
You may be seated.
Thank you. Can you tell us when the property was posted?
It was July 18th, I believe.
And Mr. Piper, could we have the facts of the case, please?
Just point of clarification, it was July 17th.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I-
Maybe I'm wrong. I apologize. If it was the 18th, then we're still fine with the date of posting. This property is located at 1825 West Broad Street. This is the appeal of Brittany Werner for a use variance to permit a personal service aesthetics salon where the use is neither permitted by right nor special exception. The record lot is irregular in shape, totaling 85,378 square feet, and is located in the LI Light Industrial Zoning District.
Thank you. Ms. Werner?
My name is Brittany Warner, so I am an esthetician. I have in the building received 3 suites, so I primarily offer facials and waxing. So personal services, it'd be by appointment only. There's public parking for the building. There's also other businesses within the building. There's a dance studio that's been there for over 20 years, Cheryl and Chickies. And then there's a window tinting business in the front, and also a small marketing company in the front that does like personal photography and things of that nature. I received the units in April. I filed all the paperwork. I was unaware of that it was denied at first or due to a communication error with the emails. So it would be a hardship on myself, and I feel the community, because it's services that aren't quite right in that area, but there is personal service such as a barbershop 450 feet away from my location. And there I'd be like a solo esthetician, so there'd only be like one client at a time, appointment only.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Questions from members of the board?
So
Ms. Stone?
you would be the only individual working there. You wouldn't have someone doing appointments for you. You would be doing that yourself.
Currently, it would be only myself. I may eventually want to hire like another esthetician or 2, only because I won't be in there full time. So it'd only probably be 1 to 2 people working there. So still 1 to 2 clients at a time.
And what type of hours of operation would you consider?
They would vary. Myself, I'd keep it off like Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays. If I do get another esthetician in there, they'd probably be filling the days that I'm not in the business.
I think that's all right now.
Okay, Ms. Lee.
I have no questions.
Mr. Novotnik.
No questions.
Can you tell us the hours of operation?
So they do vary. I would prefer, so I think it's going to be Wednesday through Sunday. And like I said, the earliest I'd be in there is 9 a.m. and the latest appointment would be 8 p.m. But like I said, it kind of will vary on the day.
So you're actually in there Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Those are the days that would not be in there.
Those are days you are not in there,
Correct.
and you're hoping to fill those days with
Correct.
someone else. Since I'm not familiar with the term, is it esthetician?
Yes.
Can you tell me what that means?
So I primarily do skincare treatments. So think facials. It's a really growing industry right now. So there's multiple treatments that I can offer. So relaxation facials, there's some acne I specialize on, or dermaplaning, a couple of different avenues with the esthetician business. And then the waxing is like, and basically like face waxing, body waxing.
All right, thank you. And how long have you been at this residence or at this address operating?
Oh, I haven't been operating
How long have you had a lease for the property?
since April.
Since April. Question for the zoning officer. This is in light industrial.
Correct.
How far away from the residential part of Bethlehem? Is it a matter of blocks or one block or?
So the district expands south behind this building and to the west, and around that is the residential. So I would say it would be a couple blocks until you hit the residential.
Okay. All right, thank you. I have no other questions. One last time. Any? Go ahead, Mr.
Yeah, I
Nevada.
have a question. Do you know what occupancy was in the location prior to, you say it was remodeled?
Yeah, so it was the old Coca-Cola building. So I don't think, and like I said, sure, the dance studio has been there forever, but I don't believe that, and there's a few newer businesses, but prior to that, I don't believe anything has been in that business.
So it might be called a building in transition.
I'm sorry, say that again?
So it might be called a building in transition from one use to another?
Yes.
If she was nice enough to tell me what an esthetician was, I think telling a transition is a perfectly reasonable question.
Yeah.
Thank you. Attorney Boel, anything you need for the record on this, please?
So between the time that is a Coca-Cola bottling facility and your lease, was there any other use inside that suite? Or are you the first tenant?
No, I believe I'm the first one.
Is it describe the surrounding uses around this building? Is it commercial, industrial? What's around here?
There's so my landlords actually own Austin's Auto Body Shop, so it's a bunch of car shops, basically, and yeah, towing.
Are there any
And a
resident?
barber shop, and like I said, there's a barber shop like 450 feet away from me. Other than that, there's businesses down Broadway and up Pennsylvania Avenue.
In your opinion, will this have any adverse impact on the surrounding neighbors or the community in any
No,
way?
I would hope that people would enjoy what I have to offer to the community.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Just for clarity, am I correct if it's the old Coca-Cola building that you're almost at the intersection of Broad and Pennsylvania Avenue?
Correct.
It is. And the Coca-Cola plant was on the main floor where you are now?
I'm assuming it was the whole building. I don't really
Okay.
know the history.
Okay, but did I understand you to say that the building was essentially vacant before you?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Any last questions from members of the board? Questions from members of the audience? If not, I would welcome any comments or testimony from members of the audience. Seeing none, Ms. Warner, did you have any final comments you wanted to make?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. Gene, we'll go off the record. Why don't we just go outside again? Or Mary Frances, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right.
It's good exercise.
Okay. I don't want to kill you with the up and down.
I may trip up the steps myself.
We're all smiling.
Gene, I'd like to go back on the record, please, and I welcome a motion from a member of the board.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the use variance to permit a personal service at 1825 West Broad Street.
I'll second.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Mr. Novatnik,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Yes. Your appeal's been granted. I suggest you may want to wait for the written decision, but I would stay in close contact with the zoning officer, and good luck with the business.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Particularly with Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Yeah, really.
That's about it, yeah. Good luck. Take care. Good luck. And the final appeal that we'll entertain tonight is that of 1204 Sanford Road in the appeal of Shaddai. Can help me pronounce. Shaddy, and the last name is pronounced? Shiad. Thank you.
So
If you
it's
would
all
come up to the
S's.
table.
That's my wife, Rent Yazi.
It's nice to meet both of you. Please have a seat. Well, actually, why don't you just stand so we can swear you in?
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear by mighty God, the searcher of all hearts, that the testimony that you shall give in this proceeding to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and as you shall answer to God at the last great day. Do you so swear?
Yes.
May be seated. Ma'am, can you spell your first and last name, please?
Rand, R-A-N-D, and last name Y-A-Z as in zebra, J-I.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you tell us when the property was posted with the yellow placard?
On the 19th of July, 19th.
Right. Is that compliant with?
Yes.
It is. Okay, thank you. Mr. Pfeiffer, would you give us the facts of the case, please?
This property is located at 1204 Stanford Road. It's the appeal of Chadi Shihab to construct a patio and patio roof, which requires dimensional variances for the patio to reduce the rear yard setback, 20 feet required, 7 feet proposed, and dimensional variances for the patio roof to reduce the side yard setback, 2 feet 8 inches required, 2 feet proposed, and to reduce the rear yard setback, 20 feet required, 14 feet proposed. This record lot is irregular in shape, totaling 13,093 square feet, and is located in the RG Medium Density Residential Zoning District.
Thank you. Okay, sir. If you'd give us your testimony.
Good evening. My wife and I, we got married almost 2 years ago, and we bought a house back in 2018. And we fixed the house, and we moved in after we got married. And we had our imagination for the backyard since we bought it. We want to do simple, elegant patio and the roof on top of it. We have a big family. We have a lot of gathering, and our technical backyard is small versus the front yard, because our house located on, let's say, on a corner on the hill, and the setback, it's all the way to the back. I have a huge front yard, but the backyard, it's too small. The house is located diagonally on the property, and that's why anything we do, if we want to do anything like the roof and the patio, is required some variance from the city. As you could see in the pictures, I have like 8 pictures I took from different angles from the backyard. I have also the dimensions.
Do you want to walk us, excuse me, would you like to walk us through these pictures so we know what each of them represent?
This picture right here, the front one, is looking from the street to the backyard. This right here, the fence, represent my neighbor right above me. If you look right behind this wall right here is the backyard for the condos building next to us. And where's the big trees, there's another neighbor backyard.
Okay.
This is also represent where the roof is going to be.
So we're still looking at the same photo?
Same photo.
Okay.
The roof is going to be 16 feet out from the house. And
again, clarify for us where the patio is going to go. Is it where the step ladder is?
The patio, it will be going Going out, this is the garage door. From this wall, technically from the small window, you go out 6 feet this way, and then this is where the patio is starting.
Okay.
Going out all the way to this wall, but from this wall, we're gonna leave like a planter 2 feet away from this wall. My property line is right at the edge from the fence. I have from the edge of the patio to the property line is 7 feet already as I'm leaving that way. Next picture is from the corner of the yard.
Let us find that one, please. That's this one. It looks almost like a V.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
And this picture here, right under in the bottom here, I'm going to build a water feature in the corner. And this is where is the first picture I was taken next to the car, taking it this way. And from this one right here going down is where is the another shed is in the map. Where is the shed going to? And other pictures you could see like this is here going close down to the shed area. On the side of the house, we have the property line right behind the tree line, probably like another 2 foot between the tree lines. And this is the last picture right here is the actual where is going the shed is going to be built. Our house is sitting diagonally on the property, so that's why we're asking for variance. So this is here is the fence, my neighbor fence. This side right here is where the condo's backyard, and this is the house. This is the shed area, and all this area is front yard.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it. Okay. Questions from members of the board? Ms. Stone.
The retaining wall, that is your retaining wall?
Yes.
Okay. So then the patio and the other features are all within the retaining wall?
Yes.
So
We'll be 2 feet away from the actual retaining wall. We left it as a planter and for the water to.
I was going to say, what type of drainage are you providing? Because it looks like the property goes downhill
Yes.
and it's going to be pretty much covered with concrete.
So the 2 feet going this side and on the other side, we're going to slope from the house
Okay.
toward the planter,
Okay.
and from this side to the other side going down the hill.
Down the hill toward
Yep.
the street, I would assume.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
I have like a huge front yard. It'll be
Good. Okay.
Yep.
And how high is the retaining wall going to be? Is it just about finished, or is it going to be higher than what we're
no.
seeing?
This is finished.
This is finished. Okay.
Just to include this, if you could see from this picture right here, this retaining wall,
Mhm.
it's only the bottom retaining wall holding dirt behind it, but the top one is I just recently got approved for as a fence.
Okay.
There's nothing behind it.
Okay. Okay. That's all I have for now.
Okay. Ms. Lee.
I have no questions.
Mr. Novotnik.
No questions.
Question for you in the proposed patio with a roof. Would you agree to a condition that you not convert it into permanent living space, that is to be used as a patio only?
Yes, only patio.
I actually have no other questions. Attorney Boyle, anything you need for the record? No?
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Pfeiffer, anything for the record?
No questions.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Shant, since you are the audience,
You could still be sworn in.
please don't encourage him.
Oh,
Did you have any final comments?
Sorry.
No.
Okay, thank you. Gene, we're going to go off the record. Why don't we go out in the hall one last time?
Okay.
deliberate this.
Yeah, but I'm stuck.
Sorry, I think that was your.
All right, Gene.
No, no, it's fine.
Gene, I'd like to go back on the record, please. May I have a motion from a member of the board?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the dimensional variance for the patio and the dimensional variances for the patio roof for 1204 Stanford Road with the following conditions: that the patio, not to convert the patio into living space, and to also work with the city to assure the water runoff is directed properly.
Okay.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Mr. Novatnik,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Yes, your appeal's been granted. Good luck with the project. You may want to wait to be cautious to get the written decision, but I would stay in touch, very close touch with the appropriate folks in the city,
I will.
particularly with the condition on the water runoff.
Yes.
So,
Of course. Thank you
Good.
so much.
good luck with the
Thank you so
project. Having no other business before the zoning hearing board tonight, this meeting is adjourned.
Is that
Good night.
Clip?
Yes,
Night.
that's my clip. It flew over there.
Uh-oh, you found a clip.
I'm